Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sick and it's Six Shot Gaming Channel, and I am back with another Mortal Kombat 11 character guide video for you today. Sorry that it took me a while to get to you the second character guide. It's a little bit unacceptable that I'm taking too long to put out these videos, but for now on, I'm gonna try my best to pump out more and more Mortal Kombat 11 content for y'all. Starting with this Liu Kang character guide video. Hopefully I'm able to put out at least two more character guide videos before the Shang, or how the hell you say his name is Shang Tsung. That's how you say it. Yeah. Hopefully I'm able to put out two more character guide videos before Shang Tsung DLC comes out. But until then, hopefully this is able to hold you down until that happens. So, like always, people, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Check out some of the past content. Make sure to hit the notification bell to get alerted every single time I drop a new vid for y'all. Also, you want to help support my channel in any type of way at all, check the box below to go do so. But anyways, let's get started. So, Liu Kang has a 7-frame standard one, and his back one is a mid and it's 9 frames and has some pretty decent range on it. It's good for staggering, so on and so forth. Then his down one is also 7 frames, and it got some good range on that as well. So moved on from there. His standing two is 10 frames, is -1 on block. Then he has his back two, which is a two-hitting move, is a mid and is 12 frames startup and -8 on block. Then he has his forward two, which is a high. It's a launcher, is 17 frames on startup and -13 on block. Then he has his down two, which is 10 frames and is one of his go-to anti-airs. Then you got his standing three, which is 11 frames startup, -3 on block. Then his back three is a low and is 16 frames startup. Then from there, you have his forward three. His forward three is two-hitting move. It is 13 frames startup, -9 on hit. Then you have his down three, which is a low, and his 10 frame startup. And it has some pretty good range. So when it comes to Liu Kang, his go-to lows is going to be his back three and his down three. Those are some really good lows from Liu Kang. So next we got his standing four. His standing four is 12 frames, is +1 on block, so it's plus frames. Then you got his back four, which is his sweep. Then you have his forward four, is which is pretty much his go-to tools, and is a 9-frame mid that has very good range. Then you have his down four, which is 12 frames and -4 on block. But moving on from there, we're gonna be talking about his jumping normals. His jumping normal, you got his jump one. It's good for anti-airs. His jump two is good for like air to ground. His jump three and jump four is pretty much the same thing. Is hella plus on block. Then moving on to his hop attack. This is what his hop 1 or 2 looks like, and this is what his hop 3 or 4 looks like. Even though it looks like a low, it is an overhead. So moving on from there, we're gonna be talking about his grab. So this is his back grab, and his back grab leaves you right by the opponent, so you could pressure your opponent on Oki. And his forward grab sends you basically across screen, so you could basically start the zoning them out and so on and so forth. So moving on from there, we're gonna be talking about anti-air. So his standing one is a pretty good anti-air. It's quick. His down one is okay as well, but his standing one is the better anti-air. If you try to go down two and they hit you with they got like a really good jump kick. Sometimes that won't work. Another good anti-air is his standing two, surprisingly, even though it's on the slower side, but has a good hitbox. And another great anti-air is his back two. His back two is a really good anti-air. Only thing is you don't get a combo off of it, but it's good. Another good anti-air, if I'm going to showcase that, is of course his down two. His down two is always, and that's for everybody, the standard anti-air. Then his standing three is a good anti-air. If you follow it with 3, 4, you can get a combo like that. Another really good anti-air is his down three. His down three is an excellent anti-air, and if you was to space it out really correctly, you're going to be able to get a combo off of it. So remember that down three from deep is a very good anti-air. They jumping for you from very far away. Down three will hit them out, and it's probably one of the better down three anti-airs in the game. Then you also have standing 4. You don't really get much off of the standing 4 besides a flying kick, but it's there as an anti-air. So let's move on to talk about combo strings. So you have his 1-2. His 1-2 is his 7-frame punish. It's really good. It has some good range to it. On block, it is +3, so take advantage of that. And after the 1-2, there is a follow-up. So you can stagger pressure with 1-2, go into whatever you want to go from there, forward 4, back 2, so on and so forth. It is a very good harassment tool to catch your opponent off guard because it's a staggered string that is plus on block. Now, the one bad thing about it is that it is a high, so of course you can't pressure a 1-2, 1-2 all day because your opponent could easily down jab, and they could high crush you with a down 2 or so on and so forth. But since it is +3, it's very good to go into 1-2 and then to your fastest mid, which would be your 4-4 to get your opponent on guard. If you're kind of slow with it, the most your opponent's going to do, y'all going to trade. But if you're on point with it, you're going to frame trap them. So that's really good. But if you're not on point with your frame trap, your opponent can down jab you out of this. So you got to be very careful and be very on point when you're trying to frame trap your opponent. Now, the follow-up from 1-2 is 1-2-3. 1-2-3, the 3 is a mid, so if your opponent tries to press a button, they will get hit. And you can special cancel after that to continue the combo, so keep that in mind. So moving on, we have back 1-2-4. Back 1-2-4 is one of those strings where you have to input the third hit for the second hit to come out. So basically, if you do back 1-2, the 2 will not come out until you press back 1-2-4. So back 1-2-4, the 2 and the 4 is going to come out. So basically, you have to input the string. You basically have to dial in the string and commit to it. So if you just try to stagger pressure with back 1-2, it's not going to work. The second hit of the string is not going to come out. You have to input back 1-2-4, and then it's going to come out, and it keeps your opponent standing. So keep that in mind. The back one doesn't have the greatest range, but you could use it as stagger pressure since your opponent has to watch out for the follow-ups. So you could do back 1, back 1, back 1, back 1-2-4, and stagger pressure your opponent. And this string is special cancel at the end of it, so your opponent has to really watch out. So next string we have is 2-1-2. 2-1-2 is another string where we have to input the second and third hit for the full string to come out. So you can't do 2-1-2. You can't do 2-1. 2-1 is not going to come out. It has to be 2-1-2 for the second and third hit to come out. So keep that in mind. This string is safe, and it is only -2. So that's really good, and it's special cancelable, so you can easily special cancel after that to keep your opponent on your toes. And there's a follow-up hit after the 2-1-2, which is 2-1-2-1. So you could use the 2-1-2 as stagger pressure, because if your opponent knows that the fourth hit is going to come out and they can't do nothing about it, you could do 2-1-2 into grab, 2-1-2 into forward 4, 2-1-2 into back 3, or so on and so forth. Now, since you start stacking your pressure, your opponent, and now your opponent thinks, okay, you're going to stagger pressure them with the 2-1-2. They're going to try to down jab you, but you can always finish off the 2-1-2-1 and catch your opponent off guard. So this move is, like I said, is very good for stagger pressure. You could do 2-1-2 4-4, and you know 4-4 is a 2-hit in mid, and you could do 2-1-2 grab or 2-1-2 back 3, so on and so forth. But just keep in mind, if your opponent knows that a stagger is coming, they could down jab you. But if they're not ready for the stagger, you could catch them off guard. And they start to down jab and interrupt your stagger, you can just finish off with the 2-1-2-1 and catch them from trying to interrupt you. So it's a very good string. The only downfall about this string is that it starts off with a high, so your opponent can easily high crush it. So keep that in mind. So moving on, we're going to talk about 4-2. 4-2 is combo filler or combo starter. That's it. You're only going to be using it within your combos. So moving on from there, you got back 2, down 2. So back to down two is that 12 frame mid starter, and the down two from there is a low. So your opponent has to block low. So your opponent has to block low when they deal with this string, and the move is safe. It's only -3. So abuse it. So moving on from there, we got 3-4-3-4. It's a high. It does some good damage, and it keeps the opponent standing. So you could easily go into your bicycle kicks. And there's a follow-up from there as well. 3-4-3, 3-4-3. Gives an extra third hit at the end. And you're going to be only really using this within combos. You're not going to be using this move too much in a neutral like that unless you could punish your opponent. So yeah. But you can use 3-4-3. The 3 is going to launch the opponent up. If you cancel to your bicycle kicks, you're going to put them back in the restand position. So that's very, very good. And you could kind of stand the stagger pressure with this as well, since you have the 3 follow-up. So you could do 3-4, go whatever you want to go from there, grab, so on and so forth. And you feel like your opponent is going to try to interrupt you or anything like that, you go into your 3-4-3 and catch your opponent off guard. So it can be a stagger pressure tool. It's just that Liu Kang has way better stagger pressure tools that really be using this. So just be careful about that. But if you can make your opponent block, you can catch them off guard with your forward 4. But if your opponent knows you're going to stagger, they can easily down jab you, down 3 you, so on and so forth. So, like I said, it's not the best stagger tool, but you can catch your opponent off guard with that follow 3. So if your opponent trying to down jabs you, follow 3 and catch them off guard. Another thing about this move is a high, so they can easily high crush you as well. So down jab you, uppercut, so on and so forth. So yeah. So next we got Liu Kang's back 3-4. Startup is 16 frames. It's a low, and it's special cancelable at the end. So that's really good. You could go into your bicycle kicks to restand them, and you get some damn combos in the corner as well. And mid screen, if this move is blocked, this move is safe. It's only -2. So you could check them after the back 3-4 with a down jab, or you could special cancel to your low fireball. And it's also a good whiff punisher. It has some very good range. So I would use this as a very good whiff punishing tool and just cancel into your bicycle kicks, or for more damage, go into your flying kick. So moving on, we're going to be talking about Liu Kang's forward 4-4-4-4. So the next one we have is forward 3-3-3. This is one of his launchers, one of his better launchers. As you can see, that's the combo you follow up with. And it's a very good string because forward 3 is a 2-hitting move, right? So if you get a jumping attack, this is going to be the launcher you're going to want to do because it's one of his most damaging ones. And it's one of those strings where you have to input the whole string for the move to come out. So if you press forward 3-3-3, the third hit is not going to come out. The only way the third hit is going to come out is if you press forward 3-3-3-3. So you got to press forward 3-3-3-3 for the whole string to come out, and the third and then the fourth hit is going to come out automatically. So it's one of those type of strings. Another thing about this move is unsafe. The startup is 13. It starts from 13 frames, but the move is -12 on block. So you gotta be careful about that. Another thing about this move is that your opponent cannot interrupt you at all during this move. If they try to interrupt you, they will get launched. So this move is very great for stagger pressuring. So you could do a forward 3, the 2 hits is gonna come out. You have your opponent scared for the full string, because if the full string comes out, they're going to get launched. So they won't interrupt you. So they're going to wait to try to punish you. And you just go forward 3. You could go into your grab or go into your forward 4 and so on and so forth. So it's a very good stagger tool. So next we moving on to his forward string follow-ups. So he has forward 4, which is a 2-hit move. Then you have forward 4-3, which is 3 hits altogether. And then the final hit is forward 4-3 up 3. As you can see, and that's the final hit of that move. And this is pretty much his go-to main pressure tool. The 4-4 is 9 frames. It's a mid and it's special cancelable. The forward 4 is special cancelable. The 4-4-3 special cancelable as well. And this is going to be his main tools he's going to go to for pressure, because there's a whole bunch of mix up between this. All right. So when you do forward 4-3 up 3, the up 3 is +4 on block. So what that means is safe, and you have pressure directly at that. It's basically your turn directly after that. So if your opponent doesn't really have that much options, the only thing is that there is a gap between the third and fourth hit. So that up 3, before that up 3 comes out, there's a gap, and this gap is pretty big where you're able to stand and punish. But if you're too slow to punish, you try to interrupt and you get hit with an up 3, it will activate the crushing blow, because the requirement for the crushing blow is this string has to counter hit or punish your opponent. So keep that in mind. But if your opponent blocks the up 3, then you would be at plus frames and you're able to follow up with another 4-4-3 up 3 string. And if that hits, that's a count as a counter hit and you get the crushing blow. So since you can interrupt the last hit of the string with a down jab or anything like that, it's a whole big mind game when it comes to using this string. If you feel like your opponent's going to try to down jab you, you could go into your parry. And if you go into your parry, your opponent tries any type of attack or grab, they will get hit by the parry. And also, if your opponent tries to grab you late, the parry for some reason like pushes you back where your opponent will whiff. Now, the one thing that does beat out the parry is lows. You can get beaten out with lows when you do when Liu Kang does the parry. So any type of low that hits Liu Kang will not get caught by the parry. So keep that in mind. With that being said, you can always go into your low fireball, and the low fireball can't be interrupted. So you feel like your opponent's going to try and interrupt you because you're applying pressure with the 4-4-3 string, you go into your low fireball and it's non-interruptible. So moving on, when it comes to staggers, you could stagger this move any way you want. You could do 4-4, or you could do 4-4-3, and you can switch it up and add in the up 3 at the end, or you could do 4-4-3 grab, 4-4 grab, 4-4 down jab, 4-4 down 3, and so on and so forth. The stagger game with this string is crazy. Like I said, you could just do 4-4 and grab them. Now, if you feel like your opponent's going to try to do something after the 4-4, you could do 4-4-3 and they press buttons, they will get hit. You could do 4-4, go into your 4-3, stagger pressure with that as well. Liu Kang is just a pressure monster, and he has so much tools in his arsenal. So just get creative and use that as an advantage. But now we're going to move on to special moves. So the first special move we're going to talk about is back forward 1. And this is his fireball. It's pretty fast. 17 frames startup. It's a good fireball. Solid. It's not the best fireball in this game or projectile, but it's pretty good. Only thing about it, it is a high. So it can easily be ducked under. And we amplify it, as you saw before. You get 3 hits instead of 1. Or even 2, so that's pretty good. When you like a half a screen away, you're not gonna be able to punish this move. As you can see, I got the reversal, but I wasn't able to punish it. And when you're full screen away, there's no way at all. That second fireball will always come out before you're able to punish it. So yeah, if you block this move, you can't really do much at full screen. And like I said, the way to get in against this move is just by ducking. But you have to watch out because you have the follow-ups, and if you like duck and walk, you will get hit by the enhanced version. So you got to be careful about that. Up close, this move is death. Basically, it's full combo punishable. So just keep that in mind. So if you block this move up close, you're basically going to die. And it's a high, so you can easily duck the move. So you have 2 ways to punish the move, as you can see. But if you enhance the fireball and your opponent tries to duck and punish, they will get hit with the follow-ups. a hands fireball, so you just gotta watch out about that. But your opponent can duck the second and third hit of the fireball and punish correctly, or they could just down jab it and that would just blow up the everything. Do any type of low profile move and it would catch you off guard. They could do a low fireball, down jab, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to blocking the fireball, it's totally different how you have to punish. So when you block all three hits of the fireball, it pushes you back too far for you to punish it regular wise. So the way you punish this is really, really different. So the way you punish it is by blocking the first two, ducking the second one. So you have to let go of block, duck the second one, stand up and punish. That's how you're gonna be able to block Liu Kang's enhanced fireballs. He could also do the fireball in the air and the same thing, just jumping. So you just jump and then press back forward and you can do the fireball and you can throw out an enhanced one as well and he shoots at 2 instead of 1. You also have a crushing blow. If you was to hit with the air fireball and connect with the flying kick at max distance, it will activate the crushing blow. But yeah, so moving on to his next special move, he has his low fireball, and you do this by doing down back 1, and the hands version shoots a low and then a high, and this is low, as you can see, and the hands version causes a knockdown on a hit, so that's very, very good, and it pops them up, so you can get corner combos just like so with the hands version of the low fireball, so keep that in mind. So one good thing about the low fireball is that it is uninterruptible with any string you use at all, but mainly when you put it within your forward 4-3 string and cancel to the low fireball is uninterruptible. But it is unsafe on blocks, so your opponent can't punish, but you can always enhance it to catch your opponent off guard if they try to punish too early. But they can easily duck the fireball and punish you, so be careful about that. So the next move we have is Liu Kang's flying kick, and this is a 14 frame mid advancing special move, and it's pretty good. It has some good range to it. It doesn't hit full screen, but it hits like a good half screen distance away. This move is unsafe on block, but the distance you end up recovering is a good bit away. So it is minus 20 on block, but since you recover so far away from your opponent, any type of like standard 1 or anything like that, anything with short range will not be able to punish your opponent. So you have to punish your opponent with something that has further range. Even a grab is too far away to punish your opponent. But forward 4 works, back 2 works. Anything that's like an advancing mid that's in within the 20 frame startup will punish the opponent. And there is a crushing blow requirement. We went over this earlier, but if you hit with this move max range at the air fireball, it will activate the crushing blow. So just remember that. Also, if you was to hit with this move at max range, it will activate the crushing blow as well. So keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the next special move, we have Liu Kang's bicycle kick. And this version, you do this move by just pressing back and forward and 4. I'm glad they made it easier than all the others. Before you had to do like forward, back, forward, or back, back, forward, something like that. But this version, all you got to do is back, forward, 4. And this special move restands the opponent. Your +3, you don't get too much because you're a pretty good distance away in your +3, but you're still able to apply pressure. And when you do the enhanced version of this move, it causes a knockdown. So keep that in mind. And there's a special requirement to activate the crushing blow with this move as well. And if you do the enhanced version 3 times, right? And the next time you do the regular version of the bicycle kick, you connect with the crushing blow. So keep that in mind. This move is really, really unsafe. It's -16. And even though it says it's a mid, I believe, your opponent you go right over your opponent if they're ducking. Even if your opponent is crouch blocking, you will still go over their head, and your opponent can easily punish you and punish it with anything you want. And you could punish it just by standing up. So either way, it's pretty much death. But moving on, now we're going to talk about Liu Kang's Dragon Parry. And you do this move by doing down, back, 3. And you end up doing his parry. And you can enhance the parry. It parries all types of attacks besides lows. And you enhance, you get a pop-up, and you get a combo just like so. Like I said, lows will beat out the parry. So just be mindful about that. Just don't throw it out there, because your opponent can easily do a low move and beat you out. The parry also doesn't stop projectiles, so just a reminder. So like I said, you can special cancel into this move and use this move within some strings. If you feel like your opponent start interrupting your forward 4-3 string, you can easily cancel it to your parry, and they do a down jab. They're going to get caught. If you enhance it, you get a full combo. And so that's really, really good. And it makes your opponent scared to press buttons within your pressure. But like I said, if they got a really good low, they could beat it out. But if your opponent starts doing lows to interrupt your parry, you could also do a low fireball to stop them from trying to beat you out. So that's always good. And the parry has a crushing blow requirement. So the crushing blow requirement is basically if you knock your opponent down and use a get up attack and you parry the get up attack, you get the crushing blow. And if you enhance the parry after that, you get a huge damage combo. So moving on from here, we have Liu Kang stance attacks. So when you press down, down 1, he enters his stance. And from there, he has certain follow-up. So the first follow-up is his 1. His 1 is a mid-overhead mid-attack. Then he has a low, and you do the low by doing down, down 1, 3. And then you have a cancel, and you do the cancel by doing down, down, 1, down. So, like we just went over, he has 3 mix-ups out of the stance. And he has the overhead mix-up, he has the low mix-up, he has the cancel. Now, this stance is probably the most useless move you're not going to be using like that, because there is a lot of downfalls to the stance. I mean, there are some situations where you probably will catch your opponent off guard, but let's look at the stance 1 example. So, if you block this move, it's unsafe. And you can interrupt this move with a down jab. But if your opponent's not on a point, they can't get hit by this move. And like I said, only the second hit is an overhead. So you could block low and then stand up, right? So you won't be able to get fuzzy guard. You could basically fuzzy guard against the overhead and the low between the stance. And you could interrupt the stance period. You can interrupt the overhead part, and you can interrupt the low as well, and you can interrupt the stance cancel. So whenever you see your opponent go into the stance, don't let them get away with it. You can easily interrupt it, so don't let it get away with it. So next we're going to talk about Liu Kang's wake up attack. So this is what his up 3 look like, and it's pretty basic. It has some good, it's alright. It's better up 3s in the game. And this is what his up 2 looked like. His up 2 is pretty okay. It's not the best up 2 off a wake up, but it's pretty good. And this is what his flawless blocking attacks look like. His up 3 and the up 2. And this is what his fatal blow look like. It is a pretty good long range mid attack. And it does some good damage. 320, that's probably standard. It's a mid, so that's good. You can easily combo into it as well. As you can see, it's very easy to combo into this move. So if you're in that type of situation and you need to throw in your fatal blow, just go ahead. It's very easy to go into it. And this move, if it's blocked, has very good pushback, so it's kind of hard to run in and punish the move, but you can easily reversal punish this move with a fast special. So yeah, but trying to run in and punish the move is going to be a little bit hard and difficult. So now moving on, we're going to be talking about the second tournament variation, and to me this variation is really not that good at all. You're going to be just using the first variation, but whatever. So you have his energy parry move, and this move is a parry for projectiles, and you do this by doing down back 2. And if you do it too early, you will get hit. If you do it too late, you get hit. You basically got to time this move very, very right for you to parry their projectile. So the next special move we have is his Dragon Fire, and it's kind of like the stance move as well. And the way you do it is by doing down back 4, and when you do down back 4, you activate the stance. And within the stance, if you do down back 4 and a certain button again, you go into follow up attacks from the stance. So if you do down back 4, you get this teleporting move where you end up punching your opponent from the back. And all these moves from the stance is going to be teleports. If you press down back 4 and hold back, you're going to teleport in front of your opponent and hit your opponent with that punch. And you could combo into this, so keep that in mind. So if you press down back 4 down, you're going to teleport behind your opponent with a sweep. If you press down back 4 down back, you're going to teleport in front of your opponent with a sweep. And if you press down back 4 up, you're going to get this overhead attack, and you teleport behind your opponent, basically crossing them up, and it's going to be an overhead. So your opponent has to block this standing. So keep that in mind. So he has a little mix up off of this stance. So if you special cancel into this stance and your opponent tries to like react to it, they're not going to be able to react to the Dragon Fire stance and punish you. But if your opponent reads that you're going to cancel to a Dragon Fire stance, they can easily punish you. So just keep that in mind as well. If they try to react to it, they're not going to be able to react to punish. But if they read it, they will be able to punish you. So it's pretty much safe because you have all this other stagger pressure stuff that you could do with Liu Kang. So keep that in mind. So if you was to block the punch follow-up from this stance, the punch follow-up is 100% safe. So keep that in mind. The pushback puts you too far out for you to punish, because I think it's only like -8. So yeah. But like I said, you can duck and punish this move. So if your opponent does the move and you duck it, just like so, which I'm about to show, you can easily duck it down to for a crushing blow and go into whatever combo you can from there for some really, really good damage. So yeah, that's always good. Also, if they block the forward teleport punch, not the one that crosses up your opponent, and they block the one that doesn't cross up your opponent, you get a little bit more pushback, where if your opponent tries anything, they will whiff. Not anything, but a lot of stuff will whiff compared to the crossover version. But remember, this one can be ducked as well and punished the same exact way. So keep that in mind. But you can always throw in the low teleport if you feel like your opponent's going to try to duck the high for a mix-up. So that's always a good option, because your opponent will not be able to react fast enough to realize that it is a low. So they have to just commit to the block. So just keep that in mind. The only thing about this is that the low is super punishable. It's basically death. So yeah. And if you do the crossover version or the stay in front teleport version, it's basically death. Another thing, the startup of this move takes so long that you're able to just interrupt this move outright. So whenever you do the stay in front teleport version, you can just easily down jab and beat your opponent out. But that won't work with the crossover version. With the crossover version, you have to wait and then down jab or do whatever to beat them out. But you can beat your opponent out with this move, so just keep that in mind. So when you do the stay in front version of the Dragon Fire, you're able to punish with basically almost anything. You can stand and do forward, pretty much anything that's quick enough. Anything up to like 12, 13 frames, you're able to punish your opponent. But if the opponent goes into the crossover version, you will get beaten out. So you have to wait for the crossover version for you to like beat them out. But with the stay in front version, that's not the case. And then you also have this overhead, and with this overhead, and they throw in the overhead, you're not going to be able to interrupt them off of the overhead. So yeah, but you can block the overhead. The overhead, you could easily duck and then stand up and block the overhead. So you could fuzzy guard the overhead, but you can't down jab. If you're trying to down jab, you will get hit. And this overhead is full combo punishable, so keep that in mind with just throwing this move out. You could also, if you're on point with it, if you know the overhead is coming, you could also backdash, as you can see, backdash the overhead and punish the whiff. So that's okay. The only thing is you gotta watch out for the other follow-ups, and if you try to forward dash, you will always get hit. So keep that in mind. But you could forward dash and block though. Forward dash and block is a thing, but if you try to forward dash and punish, it's not gonna be possible. You're gonna get hit. You could also, if you're on point, down to the overhead as well. So that's always an option as well. So yeah, folks, that's pretty much the end of the road for this Mortal Kombat 11 video. This has been a Mortal Kombat character guide video for you, and it's all about Liu Kang. Hopefully this video was able to help you learn more about this character. And if you were struggling with learning him before and he's not like MKX Liu Kang, he's still a good character. MKX Liu Kang was a lot of combo heavy stuff. This Liu Kang is more pressure too and stuff like that. But he's still a very, very great character. And hopefully this video was able to help you learn him and understand how to play Liu Kang. Or hopefully this video was able to help you how to punish Liu Kang and so on and so forth. But that's pretty much the end of this video. And I'm going to try my hardest to have another character guide video out for y'all before the weekend is up. And Shang Tsung video is definitely coming next week, so stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for another Mortal Kombat 11 series I got going. But like any of these people, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to get alerted every single time I drop a new vid for y'all. Also, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to help support my channel in any type of way at all, check the box below to go do so. But I hope all of you have a nice day. Peace.